Hey guys, we are at mile 22 of the Dallas Marathon course, Winstead. You can see the route comes up a gradual uphill, leaving White Rock Lake, and then we're at the point where it gets really steep. So 14 weeks out from the race, this hill is going to be infamous on race day. But today, this hill is not the agenda. I just wanted to check it out, kind of give it the I'm coming back for you. But no, today we're here for our long run and the DRC Breakfast Bash 5 miler. I'm running this as a workout. I'm gonna do 2 by 1 mile tempo, maybe around 5:40 pace ahead of the race. And then last year I ran the race at, I guess I finished 27:23, so 5:28, 5:29 pace. That was like 3 weeks out from Berlin, so I was kind of peaking. I could probably come close to matching that today, but that's a little bit harder of an effort than what I want to do. So we'll see who is here. As long as no one's pressing the pace too much, I'll try and start around 5:50, work down, hopefully run my last mile at 5:20. It's a hilly route. We have to go down the spillway, up the other side, then turn around and do the same thing backwards. So have a good workout, eat some Torchy's tacos, and enjoy the 3-day Labor Day weekend. What's up guys? It is Thursday, September 7th. I am on my way to Dallas. Tonight we have the Mavs Run This Town 5K. So at the DRC 5 miler on Saturday, I ended up not taking it out at the pace I wanted to. I wanted to go out more conservatively. Jose was there, my buddy Jose from the 3x2 mile relay. He was my relay partner. He took it out pretty hot out the gate. I think our first half mile was at around like 5:05, 5:10 pace, and we slowed down a little bit after that, but it was still 5:22. Then the second mile was 5:26, and then the third one I was on my own. We had the turnaround and I ran that at 5:40. and then we went up the spillway, so that was 5:46, and then I brought it back home at 5:30. So altogether, it was a 27:46, which is 23 seconds slower than what I ran last year. But all things considered, I ran the 2 miles ahead of time, a mile at 5:40 pace and another at 5:37. So, you know, it was not the same workout as I did last year. So the goal tonight is to go out with the leaders, whatever pace they choose, 440, 450, whatever. It's gonna be tough. I'm gonna have a pretty good warm up. I've got my beetroot juice and Gatorade combination. I'm gonna warm up for about 5 miles ahead of time. It's a warm night, but no humidity, so the heat shouldn't be too much of a problem. And it's a totally flat course, so I'm hoping that even with a fast pace, relax in the second mile, I'll still have something in the third mile. There's an underpass right at 2.7, and that's where, if I'm still hanging on to the leaders and I have any energy left at all, I'm gonna try and go it alone. I'm gonna try and take off the front. That might not work, but at a minimum, it'll get me my best time. So we'll see. It all depends on who shows up, and hopefully I can at least get a podium tonight. What's up, guys? It is September 11th, 2017. We are done with week 5, 13 weeks to go until the Dallas Marathon. So, last I talked, we were getting ready for the Dallas Mavs Run This Town 5K. That race didn't go so well. I ended up running 16:08. Not a lot to say. I just think I don't have a 5K in my legs right now. The pace is just a big change from what I'm doing day to day. I'm doing a lot of like 5:30 pace, 5:40 pace, so dropping down to 4:55, 5:05 is just a little bit too much. So I ended up, not really being all that tired after the race. I ran it as fast as I could. I'll show you the splits here in a minute, but like I said, 16:08, my last 2 miles were both around 5:20, and then after the race, during my cool down, I felt fine. So I ended up doing a couple more miles worth of intervals. I wanted to get 5 miles worth of intervals on that day, so I was glad I at least got to complete the workout, even if I didn't run a fast race. We took 3rd place, so that's always good. All right, so here you can see again, this is the Strava training log. So my last 2 weeks were a little bit lighter on the mileage, 100.6 and 102. If it weren't for the races that I ran, those probably both would have been around 110. The weather's been better here than it has been all summer long. We're starting to actually transition into fall. But, when the intensity goes up, the mileage has to go down a little bit. So this training log is a good overview, but there's not a lot of details. 2 weeks ago, I ended up doing shorter runs. I still got in 5 doubles. I actually didn't even have a real long run. I only got 15 miles the week of the day of the DRC 5-mile race. And then this last week, I had a Labor Day half marathon with just a few of my friends. So we ran that pretty quick, and I ended up getting in some good pace right in the middle of that. So that was all in all a very good workout. I had 22 miles done by the time Monday was over. Took it easy on Wednesday and tried to run fast on Thursday. So the splits for the Mavs 5K are kind of interesting. I started out with the leaders, and we went out at about 4:52 pace. So you can see here, it looks totally flat on Strava, but when you go up Houston Street here, it's a little bit of an uphill right at the start. So, running at a sprint pace up a hill is a good way to take all the energy out of your legs. So, by the time we made this turn onto Highline and went under this underpass, I was in a group with 2nd place through 5th place. And shortly after that, it kind of separated, where 1st place was way out front. He was gone. And 2nd place was starting to create a gap, and so I chased after him, and I ended up in 3rd place. So that's kind of the story of the race, was, all of mile 2 and all of mile 3, I'm just keeping an eye on the guy in front of me. And I thought I was kind of making up time on him. When we go back under that bridge, there's a nice hill right here, right around mile 2.6, 2.7. So my plan was to attack at this point, but I just didn't have a lot in my legs. And once I closed the gap to where I was within maybe 3 or 4 seconds of him, he took off and he made that gap much larger. So I think he finished about 10 seconds in front of me. All in all, I wasn't a big threat to him. It's kind of disappointing for me to look at this and say, okay, well, I was only able to run 5:18 and 5:19 per mile. I didn't even have a good finishing kick, but that's not necessarily accurate because there was a big turn right in that last .1. You can see the GPS is way off. But ultimately, I should be able to run right around 5:05 pace for this race distance. But it's just a matter of practicing at that pace every week, and I haven't been doing that lately. So I've decided that I'm not going to run the 5K that I had planned later for this year. I'm just going to stick to marathon workouts, maybe some 15K, 10K races. And in the spring, that's when I'm going to revisit the 5K. I have big goals for the 5K, but I don't think this is the year for that. So anyways, just a quick training wrap up. 100 miles, 102 miles. I'm fat. Not really, but I would like to get down to the same weight I ran Berlin at, and I'm not there yet, but I'm not really worried about that right now. I guess the last thing of note is that 2 days after, or I guess 36 hours after the Mavs 5K, I went on my long run, and that was just going to be 20 easy, but I ended up feeling pretty good, so I picked it up, 650 pace, 640, 630, 620, and I ended up getting under 6-minute pace for the last 3 miles, so that was pretty good. I will take it, and now I'm just recovering. So next up is the Omaha Marathon. The Omaha Marathon is in 6 days. It's on Sunday at 7 a.m. Weather right now looks like 60 degrees, 100% humidity. The early start should make that a little bit more bearable. I'll be flying in on Friday and going to the Husker game against Northern Illinois. Hopefully not a good game. On Saturday morning, I think that's an 11 a.m. game. And then race Sunday morning, fly home Sunday night. So my goal there is to start out around 6:30 pace and just gradually cut down. Hopefully get down to about 5:35 per mile, and then I'll back off, back up to 6-minute pace, cut down again, and we'll kind of play it by ear in the last 10K based on if there's anyone else in the race that I'm competing with and how I feel. My biggest goal for this marathon is to come away from it and still be able to put in 100 miles next week. I don't want to have a lot of recovery. I don't want to have a big taper. So just going to play it by ear, listen to my body. I have a workout on Wednesday before the marathon, so I'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday to recover beforehand. And hopefully I can get in a hot tub on Sunday night so that I can hit the ground running again on Monday morning. But that's it. So, like I said, 5 weeks done, 13 weeks to go, and we are just trucking along right now.